Hello, hello, hello. This is Amber Whittemore. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. And for you who know me, I am celebrating my Stampin' Up! Birthday today. And I'm excited. And I just wanted to say thank you all for supporting me and getting me to this spot. So, to celebrate my Stampin' Up! Birthday, I wanted to show you guys how to make this card. It's a shaker card. And then inside looks like this. So we're going to do that. So I used a couple. I used the Birch, Reflected in Nature, and Welcoming Woods. And I only used the sediment. So you don't really, if you have a different sediment or if you want to use one of the ones in here, absolutely okay. I just wanted the happy birthday one. So today we're going to be using my ever famous Stamparatus. And I'm going to actually be doing the background stamp, which is my Birch, like so. Now what I'm doing is going like this. I leave that there because it tells me exactly where I want to place it. I always stamp on a scrap piece of paper. So this paper is 5.5 by 4 1/4, so it's the whole size of the actual card because we're going to trim it down. And because the background stamps are, I'm trying to keep these away so they don't hurt each other because they will snap. I'm going to be using tape. You can use washi tape. Doesn't matter. And I don't want it super sticky, so I'm sticking on my hands. And I do the same with washi tape. And I'm just going to put it on the corners because I don't want it to move on me. But if I put the magnets here, it's going to block this stamp. So if anybody's not familiar with this, is a positioning tool. It's called the Stamparatus, and it is by far one of my favorites. Let's see. It's by far, hi Amy. There we go. We'll get down there. It's by far one of my favorite tools, especially for the bigger stamps, or if I just need, or if I have stamps that I just can't get the stamp right. This gives me a do-over time because no matter how many times it doesn't move. So you can stamp over it and you'll never get the double shadow image as long as this is secure. So the colors we will be using today are Balmy Blue and Misty Moonlight. So I want to get, I like having an extra stamp case underneath. I didn't clean this off that well, but I'm still going to be using the blues, so I'm going like this. I should, normally you do the lighter color first. And I'm going to go like this. And then I'm going to take one of our blending brushes. Hi, Susie. And I'm going to go like this because I don't want it to be a very sharp image. I want it to be more of a background. And I'm going to tell you that Misty Moonlight is a powerful stamp color. So we're going to sit there and we flip. And I'm not liking that. I want a little more on the bottoms. I'm going to make sure I push down the edges. And that looks good. And that's what I wanted. I'm just going to gently take that off. It doesn't ruin anything. You didn't even really, you could have made it the exact image, but I didn't want a piece of tape like that, so I didn't want to, I want to cut that piece off. And your chamois is really good for this. because you can get into the creases. clean it off. And this one I'm going to pay more attention to detail and cleaning after my live. Thank you, Susie. Like that. Put it over to the side so I know it gets clean. Alright. And because I made a boo-boo, if you do happen to get a darker color ink or mixed ink, you can always go like this and it will start to stamp off. It's only going to sit at the top as long as you do it right away. And then you can get, and also if you over re-ink it, you can do the same thing until it comes out good, because I've done that many times before. Alright, so we're going to get this reflected nature, and I'm going to want it right here. Like so. And I'm going to do the same thing with my tape. I'm going to take the same tape. Boop. Like so. Make sure it's not too sticky. We're good. I learned that the hard way, Susie. Alright, so I'm going to take my Balmy blue. And I really want to ink this up because I want this light color to really pop. So we're going to go like this. Get the impression. Let's see how we did. I like it. I like the coloring. So I'm going to do a quick swipe of it. And then I'm going to take my Misty Moonlight, and I'm just doing the top half. And I'm going to take that blending brush, and I'm going to make it so it kind of does an ombre effect when I stamp this, which would be really cool. Because the bottom part really is just a reflection. So we'll go like this. Very careful, I'm making sure. See, I want this right here a little bit darker. Like that. There we go. So we got our reflected nature, and it's really pretty. You can do this with any color combination you want. You can do it in browns, greens, blues, purples, doesn't matter. All fun. Wipe you off. And then we're gonna get rid of this, make some room on the very small disc. Like that. Alright. So, closed up my ink pads because I'm going to bring out my other stuff, and I really don't want ink on everything. So we're going to stick this up here. And I have a Misty Moonlight cardstock, your basic one, basic size. I have a 4 by 5 1/4 for the inside. And I have a piece of scrap. So we're going to go like this. First thing I want to do is take this, because remember this was oversized. Let's see. So a little oversized. Thank you guys. I love that you guys come and watch me. And I'm going to make it 4 by 5 1/4, like that. So it gives me that really cool effect. I love that. And if you guys are really into this, this should be one of your first things that you get. Nothing matches it. It's amazing. It spreads out. It does scoring. It does cutting. It does all the above. But enough about that. Alright. So we got this. And then we're going to sit there and I'm going to fussy cut. Just around. And I don't want to be perfect because it's going, and I'll show you why. Doesn't matter. Like, whoop. Throwing stuff. I've had way too much coffee today. And we're gonna just do a quick fussy cut. Of course, I was cutting, doing all kinds of stamping, even last night, so my good scissors are sitting in my bedroom. Not where they're supposed to be. Alright. And you're gonna want to save one of these little pieces because we're not doing anything fancy. Alright, so technically, let's see. You can use a scrap piece of blue. This is just an extra piece of Balmy blue that I had. I want to see if, actually, I think I'm going to get away with that. Yeah, we're going to use that one. I like using up my scraps. Scraps. Alright, so I'm going to take my choice of adhesive, and I'm using my Tombow glue. I think every time I put an order, I order another 3 of these. It's like my favorite. Now all you need is a piece of scrap that is going to be a little bit bigger than it is around. And I do not want it perfect. And then we're going to sit here and distress the sides. Just be careful that you're doing it. Careful of your fingers. Like so. And then make sure. I don't care about the little rip, but I like that. So we're going to do that. And now I'm going to glue it on to my homemade GSP. I love my background stamps. I didn't like them at first, but now I love them. A lot has changed in a year since I started stamping. So I'm just going to put my Tombow glue, and I want it really down because it's going to be a shaker card. And as you can see, I'm putting it up. And I'm going to make sure it stays down, like so. Let's see. And then we're going to use this really cool thing. Hi, Tammy. Really cool thing called Crystal Effects. And I'm just going to sit here. And it's going to give it a little bit of shimmer. But you got to remember this takes a little while to dry. And you don't want stuff. See, I'm just spreading it. I'm not really doing much with it. It's not going to be anything spectacular. Let's see. My little paintbrush has run away with me. I had one somewhere. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my finger and I'm going to spread it across because I don't want it to be like you can see the lines. Like that. I wish you guys could see that. It gives it that little glisten like ice. It's really cool. Alright, so I'm gonna let that, normally you let that dry. But I'm gonna speed it up with the heat gun, so you're not gonna be able to hear me. And I'm just trying to get it to dry faster. What I make is, I'm just trying to speed up the drying process so it's not sticky. But there it is. And then you get a little icicle look, which is really cool. And then you can use your choice of sentiment. I use the happy birthday. I love this happy birthday. I think it's gorgeous. I love the calligraphy in it. So I'm going to sit here and do that. Like so. And I'm going to take, kind of want to use scraps. You can use scraps, trust me. Scraps are good. But I've misplaced mine and I don't want to waste your time. Oh, here it is. Oh, there we go. Alright, so we're going to take our Misty Moonlight, like so. And I'm going to go like this. Get it in that nice blue. And when I'm doing this, I tend to stamp in a corner, because then you can just cut it and it's got two straight edges already. But I just can't get over the gorgeousness of this beautiful happy birthday. And I like that it's smaller. And you can cut this with the trimmer if you can't do this. Some people have to have that straight line. I don't want it. And we're gonna take, we're gonna glue this like so, and I'm gonna glue it onto the blue, and we're gonna do the same thing that we did with this. And I just wanted to have a little bit going on there, and we're gonna go like this. I don't want this straight because I'm gonna distress it, so it doesn't matter. Just distressing. I don't want this card to be one of those straight lines, hold your corners. I want it to just be cool. And then we're gonna stick this right here, and I'm gonna glue it. I want everything, and now you gotta make sure this is really glued down. You don't want any of the corners, because your little sequins are going to sit there and stick underneath it. Tammy taught me that. And I'm really making sure, like where it's lifted up, I'm really gluing it down. I'm making sure it's sitting in there, because I want this flat. I like the raised look because it's layered, but I want it flat. Alright, so this is actually dry, so we're good to go. And I'm going to be using clear medium envelopes. So what we're going to do, they look like this, and I'm going to stick it in here, like so. And I'm going to be using the subtle shimmer sequins from the new mini catalog. I love this stuff. And I mistakenly ordered two, so I got to find a lot of stuff to use this for. I'm going to go. There we go. And this is really sticking. That's good. Some of it will get stuck in here. But make sure that you don't pull it too tight, because then your sequence won't move. So I'm gonna lift it up like that. Ooh, pretty. Oh, I'd love to get this card in the mail. So this is our front of our card. So we're gonna put this, and I'm going to use tare-N tape. Tare-N tape. I don't want this boy coming off. I love them too, but it's funny, I only think about them around Christmas time because I think of snow globes. Yeah. And I'm going to do safe but sorry, not later, and stick some in the middle. Just because. So you make sure this is all down, and then you sit there and you're gonna peel it up. They're just like dimensionals. It's basically really strong double-sided tape, and it's really awesome. You can use your Stampin' Steel Plus. You just need a very strong adhesive. Maybe. Oh, there we go. Alright. And then I'm going to place this in the meter. There we go. So we got our shaker card. So we got the front done. How fun is that? Ah, it's fun. Alright. So the next thing I'm going to be using is the Misty Moonlight. And I'm going to be using the sentiment, take time for you, because a lot of adults don't take time for themselves on their birthday when they should. And that's not centered, so I'm going to flip it. Thank you, Becky. Flip it. That's good. I like it. And then I have the eagle, which is part of the reflective nature, and it's going to be in balmy blue. And I'm going to stick it right here, like so. And I'm going to bring back my blending brush. I'm going to make sure it doesn't have anything I don't want on it because I'm going light. So I'm going to go on my light balmy blue, move this stuff out of the way, and I'm going to go like this. I took a little off, and then we're going to go in the circles. Small circles. And so, alright. And I want light all the way up, but not a lot. So we got this one. And then I went straight to the Misty Moonlight. Love Misty Moonlight. And then this is really dark, so you gotta be very careful because we don't want it to get overwhelmed. Like so. And it gives you a really pretty look. And I don't want to go any darker than that because you'll have problems writing on it. So that is going to be my inside of my card. And I'm going to take my Tombow glue and smack it inside. Alright. center it like so. And then that's what it looks like. I figured it looked kind of like clouds when I was doing it. I absolutely love my blending brush. So yeah. But then you got your cool little shaker card, and it's a happy birthday card. And then you open it, and there it is. So that's my card for today. Thank you everybody for watching, and thank you for celebrating my Stampin' Up! Birthday with me. Because I've been a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator for a year, and I really appreciate y'all coming and supporting me. You guys have a fabulous night. Bye-bye.